mean, a lot of people want to say, oh, well, the social media this and blah, 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 this, that, and the other. Who gives a fuck? Can you exercise discipline? Because like you just said, people, oh, my homegirl just posted that she went to the Maldives. Oh, my homeboy just posted that he went to Colombia, X, Y, and Z. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what they're doing. What we doing is, like you said, we holding our hands. We holding our hands trying to get through our shit. It doesn't matter what they're doing. And you have, we don't have discipline. Let's just say that. We don't have discipline.
Thank you.
As a general matter, we lack discipline. And like the obesity crisis is the overarching, highlighting evidence of this issue in the United States. We don't have discipline. And so to blame it on social media and this, that, and the other, like, it's a cop-out. Just say, I'm not accountable because I lack discipline. Period.
Yeah.
I want to go and spend 5 racks to go to the Maldives when we don't have it because I lack discipline. I want to go bitches in Colombia because when I got a wife, because I lack discipline. Let's just be real about it and use the real words. Like I'm just so tired of the complaints. Like, we have to, one, acknowledge what we're fucking up in order for us to be able to like get to the next step from where we are right now. Like I
said that Alan and I had the exact same conversation. You praise discipline in so many areas of your life. If you need to go to the gym, if your finances, if someone is not good on their finances, they can't close a proper deal. If they don't know real estate, if they don't go the ins and out, you really say, like, dude, you didn't have the discipline to do it. When it comes to your relationship, you don't praise the ability to have discipline and keep your eyes on the goal and stay committed.
Like, I'm unsure.
I don't think, but we got to understand that this discipline.
What makes it different from the gym?
The difference, I mean, not the difference, but the thing is, too, is that we don't lack discipline. We are selective with discipline.
That's what I said. I said we choose to not exercise discipline.
And across, but across all boards. For example, I could say something to you, but you'll let your feelings get away in the way of our communication, which is lacking discipline, to understand what I'm really saying, even though you know what I'm saying. But because in America, we were taught to say something to you in a specific way, you're going to now void what I'm really trying to convey to you.
Can you give an example?
For example, in our prior segment, when I said coming home at 5 a.m. is not going to work for me, the discipline and regulating your feelings and emotion will be able to understand that I'm not trying to control you. What I'm trying to do is tell you what doesn't work for me. But then we'll get into a debate on, like, fine, I won't come at 5 a.m., but I'll come at 4 a.m. There's no discipline and regulation in anything. Not our feelings, not our emotions, not our day-to-day life, not our desires. If you think about it, we say this all the time. Alan says it too. If I told you it's going to take you 10 years to be successful in whatever craft that you want, but it's going to take you 10 years and it's going to be a hell throughout those 10 years, a lot of people are going to say, nah, I'm good. But then they'll go ahead and buy a $500 podcast tour course that ain't going to teach them nothing. And then next thing you know,
he talking about y'all.
It's only because he said you were gonna make $10,000 in 24 to 48 hours, and then when they don't make it, they blame them and said you weren't disciplined. It's not my fault. So my thing is, like, nobody wants to do the work. Nobody wants to put in the work and be disciplined across the board. Yeah, that's a part of the workload. But the thing is, nobody's also making anybody be disciplined. Who is the leader of discipline? We got kids that are allowed to do whatever they want. There's no discipline there. So if you're not being disciplined as a kid, you're damn sure not going to be disciplined as an adult. If, for example, there's some theories that I don't agree with, gentle parenting. You can only discipline so much. For some kids it works, for some kids it don't. But if you try to do one thing for everybody, it's not going to work. And the kids that it doesn't work, guess what they do? Lack discipline. And usually the ones that it didn't work are the craziest and fuck shit up. And guess what happens? And now watch this. And look, watch how it comes in full circle. And the ones that fuck shit up, guess who idolizes it? The ones who had the gentle parenting. So guess who follows the bad one? It's a whole circle of not discipline from the beginning to the end from each side.
I don't think gentle parenting was introduced to be like one for all. It was just another way of trying to get to know the kids.
Yeah.
That, obviously we were brought up, I was brought up like, if you misbehave, beat up. Right. You get it licked. And like for some kids, that don't do nothing. You can hit them as much as you want. They'll still be bad. Sometimes you have to talk to them.
Check this out.
Works for some. It's not one for all kind of concept.
I agree.
But it's true, but proven concept shows that it works for most. Everyone, right? Like, my thing is this. True story, I coach 8 and 9-year-old football, right? The first practice, I said, hey guys, do we know what discipline means? Everybody said no. One kid raised his hand. I said, go ahead, Wayne. What does it mean? He said, it means if I don't listen, I get punishment. And I said, wow, we're not talking about that type of discipline, but your parents are technically wrong. There's another definition. And we read the other definition together. But I tell you what, out of all the kids on that team, Wayne is the most behaved. Wayne is the most implementing kid ever. I don't have to tell him to do things twice.
Wayne getting beat.
No.
Wayne's fearful.
But guess beautiful. But guess what? Wayne is though. Wayne is one of the best on the team.
Is his parents Caribbean?
I don't know.
Oh no.
His
name is Wayne.
He's
right. Wayne. Right. Wayne. Have you seen shots?
He's actually probably Dominican or Puerto Rican. But yeah, he's Latin for sure. Yeah, we get, you know what I'm saying? But the thing is, but guess what? He's already set up for success if he continues to stay at this point because he's one of the best, well-coachable kids. But I'm just saying, like, this is just my own real life.
So you're such a pessimist.
Like, there's different variables.
We can't live.
No, they've been beating these kids.
Listen, let's think about this for a second. We cannot, if we...
Look, some CEOs were giving it. They weren't even...
If we're sticking with the outcome, right? Let's work backwards and then we go to a solution. If we're sticking with the outcome, we know what the outcome is, right? It's 50-50. You might make it, you might not. But this is reality. It's 50-50. Imagine that when you wake up in your life as a child, as you growing up, if reality was told to you, you're like, Mommy, can I be anything? Yeah, it's 50-50. Right? Can I have a perfect relationship? Yeah, it's 50-50. And then you're like,
No, but that's not going to make
no, I'm talking about relationship. Well, it's less than 50-50.
You pay him up with the money. It doesn't work that way. Like, that's what people
talking about relationships. Just
I know, but you can't. Okay,
let me finish. Can I finish?
Let's just say this point. That's the thing that people don't realize. When you say, hey, your odds are 50-50, then the odds of that kid succeeding are probably 5 to 10%. That's what people don't think. Like, you think, oh, because I'm telling you your odds are 50-50. You need motivation. That means you have a 50.
It's wrong.
But he is going to be 5 to 10% anyways.
I'm talking about 50-50 in relationship. I didn't want to say the real odds. Like your real odds is being very successful financially is only like 5-10%.
More like
your
one.
Real. That's a real.
But even the course that you take while you said false motivation, you have something to look forward to, something to try, something to attempt. It's like thinking that you're gonna be CEO one day.
And I don't mean to say that in a bad way because I battle with it all the time. I battle with it. I'm serious. When you trying to get to a goal and you're not trying to be super realistic, in my opinion, that's what you call slow denial. You slowly denying reality. And sometimes you could extend reality, right? Not you. I'm not talking about you, Jay.
No, but why can't you just...
So what happens is that, for example, I'm serious. Mm-hmm. Like sometimes if I want to do something, especially if it's something that requires a lot of work and success, I'll say to myself, now you know you got to read every trade magazine.
Right.
Now you know you got to go to every conference. Now you know you got to know every crust cut in and out of this business, right? You know that. And then I'll say, yeah, I know, but, I ain't really kind of in that mood, so I'm just going to walk around and blame the world or do something else.
No,
right?
Really?
So, no, I didn't say that. No. But what I'm just saying is like, what I'm trying to say is like, if you know your odds, you know how to play. Like if I go to the casino, Rico was talking about the casino, it's black and red, it's 50-50. A number is 33-1. I know it's 33-1. I know my odds. So if I know, you know, you're going to marry me and we know the odds are 50-50, let's try to up our odds.
Well,
how can we get our odds to 90-10?
And that means you both have to put in.
Exercise and discipline.
Now you both have to put in.
Well, these are the conversations that have to be in everyone's households, because if you're not being taught that, if your parents are not together or you were being raised by a single parent and you're not being taught, if this is not a part of your everyday conversations or you're not seeing that for yourself, then these are things that people have to learn to.
In another, Jada, because in a way, the reality is, let's talk like regular shit.
No,
you know when you're fucking up your shit.
Not really.
You don't need nobody to
Not really.
I actually disagree.
You don't know when you're fucking up your shit?
Sometimes you just mad and you don't give a damn about what you're saying or how you're making somebody feel, and you never really knew that you had to be careful with how you communicate. So therefore, it's becoming a bigger issue than it has to be. But you don't know how to communicate because you've never been taught to. So it's not that you're.
Or until somebody checks you and be like, hey,
Be there.
please don't talk to me like
Things have to be learned.
Life text.
Healthy relationships have to be learned. So until people are ready to get to the point to do the learning part and to now say, I want to be disciplined or I want to be that for this person, then that's when it's going to happen. But until.
You know how hard it is to be disciplined when you haven't been disciplined your whole life?
But if you're with someone that you do.
But you got to, but this is what I'm trying. For example, usually when I say, hey guys, listen, whoever has the best practice today is going to get a gift. It's Prime, right? Little Prime. They're like Gatorades. These kids go crazy for it. They banned them in schools, right?
you bringing it.
Yeah, well, no, because and guess who? The first practice.
Win.
The first practice, I gave out 3, right? Wayne won one of them. And not even by me, by the other coach, because the other coach was, with their individuals. But he's already practicing discipline. So when he wants something, he knows how to achieve it. Why do you think there's so many motivational speakers? It's because nobody knows.
So your body like to scam.
Nah, there's no.
I thought of being a motivational speaker.
That is 100% the truth.
No, it's
Motivational speakers aren't even living the lifestyle that you're.
There cannot be.
Let's go give me a church.
I had to go.
Guys, you know that there cannot be supply without demand.
Job. There's more supply for it. There's more demand for it.
There's more demand for it. Exactly. So if we have so many motivational speakers, it's because there's so many people who are not motivated. There's so many people who are losing. There's so many people who don't know better. So they can't do better. So what do? They turn to somebody who looks like they're doing better or seems like they know better or have credentials. So they think that they know better.
Not credentials.
But it does help. But the problem is this: when we take into look at the whole pot, there is not nobody. A lot of people don't know what to do and how to obtain what they actually want when they figure out what they want. So when we talk about modern day dating, what do you think is going to be? The same outcome. But you know what? Nobody's getting rewarded for their good doings. Nobody knows how to reward themselves as an adult. So now what happens is I don't know how to realistically give anything. I never been disciplined and got an actual result from being disciplined. So why would I be disciplined in a marriage? Why would I be disciplined in a relationship? You have never had success being disciplined. You have never got something for being disciplined. So you now want to be disciplined for something that is the hardest thing probably known to man? To be committed to another person and unite soulfully, spiritually, physically, financially, but yet you have not ever been aligned with anything else a day in your life.
Rico, what do you deem as success? Like, what do you want out of it? You're saying that you've never been rewarded
for being disciplined.
But you need acknowledgement of your discipline, or is it not?
Enforcement?
Is it not just enough to know that you are self-disciplined?
No, I mean, like, I'm talking about from ground level up, right? So, for example, when I got honor roll, I got a gift, whatever it may be, right? So when I went to school, I strived to get honor roll, right? I got rewarded for it. I got rewarded for doing good. Now, in life, did I use school for success? No. But guess what I did do? use discipline because I know that there is going to be a benefiting thing for me at the end of whatever I'm trying to obtain.
The honor roll was a good example because you got rewarded for
You
it.
get rewarded, but now check it out. If you don't do good, you still get a punishment. It don't matter who you are, what age you are. You're going to get a punishment. And if your parent or your boss don't punish you, life will. So now the problem that we have is everybody knows the consequences, but nobody fears the consequences because they're so used to obtaining consequences. And even when they did good, they never obtained a real reward.
So what I wanted to say was the honor roll was a good example because you physically got rewarded. But if there was no prize, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would you not still feel good that you made honor roll? Would it not still mean anything to you that you were there or that you had that achievement, even if they didn't give you anything? Because, like you said, if you were bad, like if you weren't punished, life would punish you. Do you not think that life would reward you? You're on honor roll. Don't you think that being on honor roll would mean that later on that would mean that you would get into a good college or a good high school, whatever you were entering in because you were an honor student?
Not in third grade, not in fourth grade, the most developing years of your life. You're not thinking about college in fourth grade. Oh, I'm not going to say.
Well, I was thinking about the middle.
Maybe you might, right?
I didn't know what schooling we were talking about.
Yeah, but even if so, I mean, I was on honor roll throughout my entire grade school. But what I'm saying is you got something and you understood that there is benefit for doing well. Now, what happens is we started, I don't believe in it, but like second place, third place rewarding, right? So if you did lose, you had participation trophies. So all you had to do was show up. Why would you even work harder? So now when we look at it, these are just behaviors that became habits over the course of time. And then we tell somebody that, okay, cool. You know what I mean? Like, you guys supposed to just get married and just, where's the reward again? There's no reward again.
It seems like the reward is what everybody else thinks it is. Because honestly, even when it comes
that fades.
the participation award, it's like, okay, somebody else wants to get the attention that the first players, the top players are getting. And then even when you do get married and you have a successful relationship, you want everyone to look at you like, oh, they did it right or they're doing something right. Or with anything you do, like most of the time, if there is no other reward, the reward is feeling like you're winning in life in some kind of way.
Can you look at it another way on the participation trophy part? Like, for example, if you're with your wife 10 years and successfully working your ass off, then this guy just meets a girl in 3 weeks, he buys her a Birkin. Mm-hmm. Then he buys her this. Like, it's like, damn, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Mm-hmm. So now she's looking like, damn, 3 weeks. Like, yo.
Exactly.
And then I got 10 years in. And then the same thing with the guy. Like, oh, she did this. She gave him a threesome. And, you know, they just been together 3 months. And it just regardless of whatever the concept of it is, it's sort of like, it's just comparing watching other people. And then I think the solution.
That's what's really what everyone's about.
That's problematic in itself.
Yeah. But nobody knows that this is the worst time because nobody is able to mind their business. Everybody literally is just, it's a big competition and people are competing for nothing. They're competing.
It's really nothing. There's nothing.
But that's what we were saying, Alan. That's what we were saying in the very beginning. Like the first look. So when we said it the other way, it was, so what are you supposed to do? Give up on your dreams? And it's like, no, don't give up on your dreams, but understand you got something good. This person, yeah, they got a Birkin bag because they shook their ass and said,
but I want something different though. So this is my thing. Something else. Like I just don't feel like somebody else's feelings should make you not want to keep making the best of your life. That's it. Like I want to keep making accolades and doing things that I've never done. And I don't ever want to be a content person that does the same. Like some people are okay with waking up, going to the same coffee shop every day and being like a creature of habit. I am an individual that has difficulty. Everybody is not like that. There's a bunch of different kinds of humans here. So when I said that, I was just saying that I'm a person that loves to grow, loves to do more, loves to see more, loves to travel more, loves to do different things. So whoever I end up with has to be a person that matches or even supports that side of.
But do you know what out of sight, out of mind means?
It's not about what other people think. That's just
no.
What other people think. I have a question for you, right? Like, I'm trying to stay on Aaron's vibration or solution, right?
Yeah.
One of the things that I've learned in anything, whether it's relationship, business, mostly business, but anything in life, right? The first thing to know is what you're up against.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say we're producing a show, right? So we're in production, but you don't really know what you're up against because Netflix produces. There's a bunch of other producers on YouTube, HBO producers. You've ever been on one of those sets? You ever been on one of those? And when you go on one of those and you sit there and you talk to these producers and you walking around, you're like, oh, this is what I'm up against.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying? I took my 15-year-old. He plays basketball. We went to Princeton. The whole country, the whole tri-state, mostly the whole country, is in there, his age group. He's like, oh, okay, that's what I'm up against. Because I don't want him to think that just his, because he wants to get to that goal, you need to be in a room so you could know what you're up against. That's all I'm saying. It's not about being delusional or people killing your dream. Yeah. It's about a lot of us keep moving forward, chasing something and pretending we don't know what we're up against.
Right, but it's also like when you are an individual that has a certain talent and then you need the right manager. One manager.
I'm talking about in a relationship.
Right.
What I'm trying to say is like most people, when they get married, they don't really know what they're up against. They don't even have a clue of what you're up against. But they do have a big wedding. They got a nice ring. They got everything. And then when they find out what they're up against, I think that's when they're like, yo, I quit.
And that's why I'm saying figure it out before the marriage part even comes. So if you are with someone that you can figure out, okay, this is not going to be something that matches me longevity-wise, someone who's not having the same goals or interests, I think, well, that's just where I was.
I think that's actually a good point because you mentioned about having like
that's when the time gets wasted, like
either being in a single parent home or growing up in a dysfunctional family. If you don't see it,
right,
if you haven't lived it, and if there's no one that has poured into you, talked to you about it, you literally have no idea. There was only one person when I got married who sat me down and was like, this is the real.
That's exactly how I feel when it came to motherhood. Nobody sat me down and was like, you got a lot of things that are about to come your way.
You know what you was up against.
You had no idea and how life-changing it was and how much work you had to put in and how much discipline you had to have and how much you had to really like become selfless for that position. So, when it comes to even marriage, I feel like there needs to be more conversations and more like guidance on how to communicate with the person that you're with so that you can, have something that is long lasting instead of just trying to be so quick to get married with someone that is probably not even a good peer for you.
Yeah, and just to I want to just tie everything together. And I think this is, in my opinion, why people need to come with more than just time. It makes discipline feel worthy. I understand things. For example, like when my girl was pregnant, right? First of all, I was already used to being a single parent. I was never really used to being in the household with a single parent. So I never valued family as much. So when my girl was pregnant and we were beefing, in my mind, co-parenting was okay. But that's because I never knew how beautiful having a family was. So then once I got my family and I, was able to take care of my family, and it blossomed in front of me and it hit me in a different way because now I understand why people fight for their family. But if I never was able to push through, I would have thought co-parenting was the solution. And for me, it's not a solution. So for me, dropping everything else, this makes it worth it. But the same thing happens when you have two individuals who want to get married and they're not bringing any beauty to each other's lives. You only bring in time and you're bringing your dreams. Time and dreams. And baggage. Right. So how far do you really think you're going to go? You know what I'm saying? So we have to have some type of, benefiting thing for the other person that we decide to unite with. You know what I mean? So, because again, a lot of us didn't have it growing up. Right. So we don't know better. So you can't do better.
I think that I don't even know how this would be implemented, but I do think, and especially with you were saying this about motherhood, we really have to be able to talk to those of us, the women or men or whatever, who are younger than us, such that they understand what they're getting into. Like, you have people saying, I want to be married when I'm 27. Baby, you have the slightest idea what that looks like. I want to have a kid by the time I'm X, Y, and Z. You don't know what the fuck is finna happen to you,
Right.
you know.
Right.
So I really do think the onus is on us who have been through certain experiences to like share that information.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like having a lick and you don't put your friends on the
That's
lick.
what I'm saying, and that's
You know?
what I feel like the issue is.
Yeah, and I think our parents did not do a good job when it comes to that. I really don't think they did a lot of stuff. Mom, they let us find out about on our own, even when it comes to simple stuff like miscarriages. You know, like women have them every day, but nobody talks about it.
Yeah.
You know, or
Oblivious.
yeah, or when something happens in your marriage, like you don't really know how to deal with it. You just in your own little silo trying to figure it out. You know, I'm not saying you got to tell your business to the world, but like it's really up to us to like foster an environment where we're handing down the information that we've learned that wasn't necessarily handed to us.